Fear shapes more decisions than we realize, silently influencing our choices, relationships, and the direction of our lives. It convinces people to play small to settle and to accept stories that feel safe but slowly limit their potential. Yet fear is not a life sentence, it is a signal. When understood and challenged, it becomes a doorway to growth rather than a barrier to success. This message is about reclaiming control from fear and placing it back into the hands of purpose, belief, and inner strength. It explores why fear feels so powerful, how it feeds on uncertainty and the need to feel enough, and how progress, standards, and emotional mastery transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. When the right part of you is in charge, fear no longer defines your future. It becomes the force that pushes you to rise. Fear is the only real enemy, and it doesn't live outside of you. It's a pattern inside the mind, something anyone can activate and anyone can change. A decision made from fear is almost always the wrong decision because fear puts you in a mindset of scarcity. When you operate from scarcity, you don't see clearly, you react instead of choosing. Look around today and ask yourself, do people want to be happy or do they want to be outraged? Go online and you'll see it everywhere. Outrage feels powerful, but why does it pull people in so strongly? Because it meets two deep human needs in an instant certainty and significance. When someone is angry, when they're ranting about how wrong someone else is, they suddenly feel certain and important. On a scale of 0 to 10, their sense of significance shoots way past 10. What they're really afraid of is uncertainty and the fear of not being enough. Anger temporarily erases both. It works in the moment, just like sugar works in the moment. It gives you a quick hit, but later you crash. That crash destroys relationships, communities, and lives. People stay angry so they don't have to feel scared, so they don't have to face the uncertainty or the doubt inside themselves. Fear is what limits the quality of life. It doesn't just stop your business or your success, it stops the depth of your relationships and the joy you're capable of experiencing. The solution is simple but not easy. Trade fear for faith. You were born with faith. You use it every day without even thinking about it. You drive down a road with nothing but a thin line separating you from distracted, exhausted, or reckless drivers, and yet you still get in the car and go. Why? Because the alternative is no life at all. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. Courage means you feel the fear and you move forward anyway because something matters more than that fear. When you have a mission, everything changes. Dreams stop being fantasies and start becoming realities because you push through what other people give up on. There is a part of you that will make that push. Whatever you feed inside yourself grows stronger. If you feed fear, it will dominate. If you feed faith, purpose, and commitment, they will rise. You have to demand the best from yourself every single day. Don't settle for less than what you can become, what you can create, what you can give. Stop tolerating the behaviors and patterns you once accepted in yourself. That doesn't mean you're perfect or that you won't have bad moments. It means those moments don't turn into days, weeks, months, or years. You get knocked down, but you get up fast and you keep moving forward. If you keep moving forward, you can achieve whatever you dream, but there is one thing that will try to stop you every time: fear. Fear that you're not enough. Fear that you don't know enough. You don't have to know everything. And whether you believe you're enough or not, something loved you enough to give you life, a beating heart you did not earn. Call it God, call it the universe, call it whatever you choose, but something expects you to become more. That's why growth feels so good. That's why giving more, doing more, overcoming more, and breaking through feels alive, because you were designed to rise, not to hide. Most people never learn how to use their fears to strengthen themselves, and because of that, they miss the richest rewards of life: growth, expansion, contribution, meaning, impact, and achievement. They miss it not because they're incapable, but because they allow fear to run their lives. Fear itself is not the problem. It's okay to feel fear. What matters is whether you can move beyond it. You have to recognize that fear is just fear, not truth, and you cannot let your mind create a story to protect you from it. Because the very story that makes you feel safe is often the same story that keeps you trapped. Every human being on this planet shares two primary fears. The first is the fear that we are not enough. At certain moments in life, you may not feel this fear, especially when your life matches your expectations. But that never lasts. Something will change. It may be your finances, a relationship, your business, the economy, your body, your emotions, or your environment. And in that moment, the feeling comes back, I'm not enough. That feeling alone is painful, but when it shows up with someone you deeply love, it becomes one of the most difficult emotions to carry because it leads directly to the second fear, the fear that if we are not enough, we will not be loved. When that fear takes over, you believe you must do something to survive. At a deep level, survival feels like needing someone else, to put their needs ahead of yours, to care for you, to choose you. So you learn patterns. You learn behaviors. You try to become enough so that you can be loved. There will always be a fearful part inside you. That's human. The key is not to eliminate it, but to never let it be in charge. There is a part of you that is bigger than any fear you've ever felt. There is a part of you that does not change, that is everlasting. It exists beyond the mind and beyond the body. You can call it soul, you can call it spirit, you can call it essence. When that part of you is awakened by something greater than yourself, something you want to serve, your emotional state changes completely. And emotion is the fuel that drives everything in life. You must be willing to feel what you don't want to feel and move through it anyway. You must trust that you are ready, step into the experience fully, and commit yourself completely. When you do, you will be amazed at what your spirit, your soul, and your psychology will find a way to create. Your psychology will always find a way to make things happen when you put yourself on the line. Progress is what makes life feel alive. As long as you are finding a way to make progress, the game becomes engaging. The game of life, the game of business, the game of relationships, the game of parenting, friendship, and spiritual growth all operate the same way. What they require is simple but powerful, a new standard within yourself. 10 years from now, you will arrive somewhere. That part is guaranteed. The real question is where you will arrive and who you will have become. What will your legacy be? What kind of impact will you have made by then? The magic that shapes a life always comes down to emotion. Emotions are either brakes or accelerators. Fear is the brake. Belief is the guide. That's why it's useful to consciously decide what you are going to believe. Decide that everything that happens in your life happens for a reason. Decide that life is happening for you, even when it looks like it's happening to you. That belief alone is the difference between being a manager of circumstances and being the creator of an extraordinary life. You get to decide who you are going to be. Inside you, there is a part that will not be defeated. There is a part of you that will not give up. There is a part of you that refuses to be denied. That is the part that must be in charge if you want to live at the highest level of your potential. In the end, life is shaped by the part of you that you choose to put in charge. Fear will always be present, but it does not have to be the driver. It can be a signal, a reminder that you are stepping into growth, not a command that tells you to stop. Progress, not perfection, is what creates fulfillment. Every time you move forward, no matter how small the step, you reinforce the identity of someone who refuses to quit. You are not here to merely manage circumstances or survive reactions. You are here to create, to grow, and to contribute at a level that gives your life meaning. Standards, beliefs, and emotions determine the quality of that life. When you raise your standards, choose empowering beliefs, and let faith guide you instead of fear, everything begins to shift. There is a part of you that is stronger than doubt, bigger than uncertainty, and more powerful than any setback you face. When that part leads, fear loses its grip and your potential comes alive. Keep moving forward, keep feeding the best within you, and let your life become proof of what's possible when courage, purpose, and belief take the lead.